mistaking you for someone else. Finding correct words is hard, Fash. How do you native speakers do it?
I generally don't think before I speak, and I stutter and stammer and and ah, and then sometimes just pause midway through a sentence and not really say anything. That's how I do it. People love it.
Alright.
And Visitor makes a good point. The guard's going to be huge in this match.
Right.
Absolutely huge.
This match actually features up some skills in Grish. Good job that match. Good job winning it. That match was, well, tense. Well, a lot of upsets up and down. Right, so skill ups, Fash. We do have some skills in this game. We have a runner with block and Longbeard with guard on the side of Knockoff, right?
It's going to be huge.
That's about it.
It's going to be so incredible.
And Pencerval has, if I'm not mistaken, he has block on his runner. So that is the advantage. Zomzen, never sober, Longbeard is the advantage of Knockoff's dwarves. So let's see.
An interesting thing, I think, unless I'm mistaken, Pencerval just has the one one runner. In fact, I think we looked at this in his first match. One runner, one troll slayer, and I asked him, "Do you have a bunch of money in your assistant coaches and whatnot?" No, I thought he was buying coaches and whatnot as he won every reroll, and I don't think he said he did. And he was just lucky on the kickoff events. So he must really be saving for.
Right, Triago, thank you for the follow.
For something later on.
Do you believe non-Serbian gets a reroll? All right. Why do I always read that non-Serbian?
That's what I'm going to do. My next dwarf team will be called non-Serbian. Maybe a better as a vampire team.
Maybe, yeah, vampire team would be. Actually, you know, vampire team would be really cool for Blood Bowl 2. I honestly cannot believe that they did not think, like, you know, vampire community is really strong in nowadays world. Like, vampires get eaten by everyone.
Well, they have all night to play Blood Bowl.
Why they're not Amazons? Why not include Amazons?
Oppression, misogyny,
half the world by
the patriarchy.
No, but seriously, why would let's put you in the shoes of a game developer nowadays, right? And tell me the reason why wouldn't you put Amazons in the game as one of the core teams?
Because you own the Blood Bowl IP, you have no competition, you can make the most minimal effort possible, and nothing bad will happen. When you own the IP and you have no competition, you can do whatever you want. You can charge whatever you want. You can be as lazy as you want.
Right, that.
And so that's what I would do.
I understand why they can do it. However, what I'm asking is why would they not bring like the Amazon team that will bring viewers, right?
Because they're lazy.
Players into the game.
Because they're lazy, Bucky.
Fash, I'm.
Oh, what would I do?
Teams in there, right? They could have dropped Chaos.
They couldn't have dropped Chaos.
And brought in Amazons.
People would have a fit.
Who would have a fit? And
everyone.
Who the fuck cares? Like everyone. Who is everyone? Everyone who would buy the game anyway.
There was another Warhammer game that apparently was going to launch without Chaos. I think it was Total Warhammer. And they announced that Chaos was going to be a DLC. Community threw a hissy fit. And they released it at launch.
Right, because they went as DLC. This would be like the 8 original teams. Like, you would not introduce Chaos as a team. You would not mention them. And I do not believe that many players would say, oh, no Chaos.
You reckon? I don't know much about Warhammer lore, but I know people would go apeshit if there was no Chaos. Press 1 in chat if you would go apeshit over no Chaos. Let Bucky see these ones.
Right, what Sneaker is saying, and I completely agree with that. High Elves, remove them. Like, remove High Elves and put Amazons, you sell more copies. Why? Because High Elves do not have boobs, Amazons do. And that's a fact of life. Right, even that, how could I forget this? Imagine replacing Bretonians with Amazons. Right?
I think releasing the full game would have sold more copies.
No, Amazon's. Definitely. Waitrick, no, I'm actually not drunk. I'm actually not drunk. Maybe I, sound like that. Who knows? Maybe I get excited and get sound like drunk. High elves are the shit. Oh, that's why. Well, I haven't played, I have one game played with high elves. Well, no, not one. 0.
I concur.
Remove the fucking dwarfs. I would be up for that, definitely. If I would like for a single team, to be removed, and this is no joke, if anyone asks me which team to remove from the game altogether, non-existent dwarfs, remove them. Remove them from the game. We do not need them. Give some tackle. Give tackle to Norse. I would bake the dwarf and Norse team together. Remove dwarves, give Norse free tackle. Life is good again. What do you think about that, Fash, by the way?
Well, look at AV7, they're still pretty weak. I don't like Norse as they are.
Yeah, but check this out.
The additional tackle just helps against elves, and that's not what you have a problem with.
Yeah, but you need them tackles to counter the elves, because if you lose dwarves, there are no real tackle onto the elves.
Well, you've already got blocks, so you just level up into tackle.
Without dwarves, Fash.
That's what your first level would be.
What would?
Tackle on your Norse.
Right, but then imagine having that free. Would that
It'd be pretty good. That would be overpowered.
I do not believe it would be overpowered. They're still AV7.
Yeah, but then you can have a bunch of them and they all just get dirty player.
Why not?
And they do everything you want.
Sounds like Norse. I do not believe that would be overpowered at all. I am all up. I'm going to be running a campaign of remove dwarves from the game. Make Norse better.
So guard immediately coming into play, center of field, looking to make blocks against the Pencerval standing line.
For one slug. Nah, I'm just joking. Guys, I'm just joking. I would remove dwarves because they're kind of annoying, but I actually love playing them. So the game is fine. I would not remove a single team, right? I would add more teams. So for all of you guys that think that I'm being serious, I'm just joking around. Sorry, Fash, you were saying something about the game. About the actual game we're casting. Right?
My wife's about to rudely interrupt and say, "Why don't you talk about the teams that he would change? I found that interesting."
Oh, right. Well, you see, Mr. Fash.
No, guard Longbeard has committed to the middle. That was my statement. Which will have for good blocks on the line. That'll be hard for Pencerval to deal with.
Well,
and so we might want to consider heading down a flank. Wow.
He could always one dice him away.
If it's not a skull.
I know. There would be no skulls. The thing is that also Pencerval has 4 rerolls. He can deal with a skull or 2.
I think the blitz might come from the Troll Slayer to move the Longbeard back towards the line to allow guard to be down extra men.
He is on the guard too. We're going to be here for quite some time. Good observation, Bob.
They sure would for Claw Chaos at higher team value for sure.
So far, a lot of hitting on buckets. Dwarves are bearded buckets. That's how you can actually, consider them. So what do you actually do? You have to have that to get that 1 dice on the guard bloke. You just have to, he is annoying when in contact with 3 of your players.
Yeah, but he's in a good position to make the 1 and then a follow-up 2. Does have space currently on the left. I think that will be closed off by the runner and the Troll Slayer on the right. Sorry, on the right. Space on the right. I think he's just looking to form up safely. In a dwarf mirror, it's less important to make a big cage, as dwarves being fairly slow, it's not as threatening. And so he could have more committed to making blocks, freeing people up. Maybe the lucky cache.
We'll see, maybe. The thing is, what I noticed with the dwarves when I was also playing it, I also said this in the previous match, is a lot less caging. Like, the caging is something you do not really do. Like, you need all of your players to win the bash war somehow. Like, if you cage, you're getting bashed. You will be getting out bashed easily.
Now, looking in the last match against a elf that can dodge places, I think that's fine. In a dwarf mirror, I don't think I would.
Yeah, against elves, you need a solid cage. Because they dodge. Dwarves, yeah, they don't dodge that much, but still a 50% dodge is dangerous. Like, you never want to be in a position, oh, he will fail that. No. You want to keep your ball safe at all times. So what do you think here? Going to the middle or going to the right flank?
I think it's a bit early for a flank play. The flank play will just get you boxed in. I think you do go to the middle.
Exactly. Like, if you go to the right, however, you may be wanting him to overcommit in the right somehow, and you do have definitely in the middle, because you do have that odd number 11 Longbeard on the left flank. You want to be able to use him for something.
Yeah, look, you also only go 6 squares with your runner with the ball, and so going down a flank this early just isn't worth a while.
So what do we have here? We have a 1 dice block on the guard Longbeard to enable a 2 dice block onto this other Longbeard. And that's about it from the 2 dice blocks he can have. He could blitz the Blitzer maybe, and then get another hit on the Longbeard. Seems that to be what he's exactly doing. He's going for some chain push, and Dubskull will. Well, it ate away a reroll, right? And that's alright.
Gonna make the potential 1 die a little bit more scary. I think before his next box he'll have to reconsider his ball carrier.
No 1 dice. Now 2 dice is everything he needs.
That is the case, a fantastic push.
And he purchases some more land upfield.
Purchased it, he straight up stole it. He paid the iron price.
He paid the iron price for it, yeah. Right, here comes another POW. Never Sober gets hit by bats.
A death here would be pretty big.
And a stun. Imagine if that guard guy went out, like straight up, like first hit on him, out he goes. That would be amazing for Pencerval.
Don't even understand.
Jimmy, what can you tell us about
it's working now.
How you doing, buddy?
Whoa, right, it's fixed.
We did it. We did it. What was wrong?
I don't know.
Fair enough.
There's a bird for you, though.
Who's the bad player this game?
Oh, I haven't even watched a single turn yet.
Alright. So we're just making assumptions?
It's a dwarf versus dwarf, so you have missed more or less absolutely nothing.
Oh, there was a fantastic chain push from Pencerval to get a 2-die block on the guard fella that was otherwise going to look a bit iffy. I thought it was well done.
Alright, the ball is moving forward.
Next time there's a lull, Bucky, I have trivia about Pencerval's team name.
Trivia?
Yep. Let me know, and I'll
Right.
blow your mind with it.
But I know that they are not Serbian. That's why I know.
I think you should push him in.
I like pushing the guard back. It stands up, goes 1 square. It's less relevant for an additional turn.
Exactly. Whenever he stands up, he is going to be having a hard time joining the fray, whatever the fray is. Or wherever the fray ends up being. Alright, I feel that was a good turn for Pencerval.
That
Let's
was a
see
nice
how
spinning,
we'll...
spinning the card. I didn't realise that was the card. It's unwatchable with the skills. I hate that there's not an option to just show game skills.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I drone about that a lot too. And yeah, I just took the skills off. Like, I will try to remember where the guard is, because that's like the only skill there is. He has a block on the runner, but that's irrelevant, more or less. Alright, so talk to me. How would you play out this turn as these knockoff dwarfs? What would be the general plan?
Do not much.
Definitely burst down number 6 and put him back down, reform the line. Not even a strict line, but just so there's no breakaway or screening for a runner that wants to flank. Even though it's still too early to be thinking about a flanking play.
And for example, if the guard guy was still standing, like base hold and dwarves fight, but as it stands, not really. Like, just push him down.
I like blitzing with the troll slayer.
I feel like blitzing with the troll slayer is usually a good idea, because you do get 2 blocks. Like, sure, it didn't work right about now, but more often than not, it does work.
Is your hesitance because he's AV8?
Dwarves. You don't want your AV8 being in contact if he couldn't push him to like into another block to protect the troll slayer. Even if he powered him, the troll slayer was going to be blitzable. Pretty much.
That's something I have seen coaches do differently. Like, that's how the coaches differ from one another. Well, some coaches would take great pains as not to let their AV8 guys get hit, while the other coaches would serve them up in order to get an advantage if those guys get hit or blocked.
With 4 AV8 fellas, I don't think Knockoff will be able to protect all of them if he really wants, so I don't think he'll pay any concern to the AV8's positioning. Pencerval with only the runner and the troll slayer, I think he's going to be a lot more conservative with his troll slayer.
We'll see how it goes.
Pencerval doesn't have a reserve, does he? He's only got 1 runner.
Curious, isn't it?
Interesting.
I think we might find that he's sitting on 150k at the end of this match or more.
Fair enough.
Could be, and also check this out. Like, if you're going to protect your AV8 dudes, you want those AV9 dwarves for bashing and everything. Like, that might not be that bad of an option. Like, if all you're playing are dwarves against dwarves or orcs.
John Foot made a
chose this after seeing the draw.
Yeah, maybe. John Foot made a quip that's saying that in a Dwarf Mirror, both coaches should get a wizard, so we have something to look forward to. Found that incredibly amusing.
Yeah, I mean, dwarf versus dwarf is just, someone said, like, buckets sitting on each other. Produces quite an annoying sound. I don't know. 4 minutes. Unlimited time to think. Trivia fast.
Do you know what? Do you know what non-servium means? Pencerval's name.
What does it?
You didn't give me an answer. Do you not know? What do you reckon, Jimbo? Non-servium.
I've got no idea what you're talking about.
I did a brief interview with Pencerval earlier, and he mentioned that it's Latin for "I will not serve."
All right, that was actually my impression, like Servian, something of servitude, something like that, but it sounded too obvious.
I don't believe you. You would have said it otherwise.
Well, I was...
Linker, it didn't
that's
happen.
too obvious. There has to be a catch to it. Nothing is ever too that obvious. Yeah, like by saying you cannot expose your AV8 guys to an AV19. Yes. The thing is, you're not exposing them all the time. You're exposing them at specific times to make the opponent team make an actual mistake of blitzing them instead of a more instead of a better position to blitz.
Block again, block him, blitz him, block him, and then just stay where he is, basically. That's what I think the play is.
Let's see what he does. Knockoff decided to keep more or less all of his dwarves in the back line. So what
For sure.
do we do now?
He's waiting for
Stay-
Guard to
stay
come back
here
up.
or go on the left flank.
You take the free blocks on offer, as Jimmy pointed out. And, you know, turn 3, you don't really need to do anything too crazy.
Yeah, I just want to hit. Let's see if these blocks do something. He has his blitzers right next to him. I love how the blitzer have those little armies wings on them. Like, you know, they're fast. They're like the fastest dwarves in existence after drone.
When I first saw them back in the Chaos Edition, I thought they were a lot like that cartoon that you used to watch in the early 90s about the Viking, the people. And I think they dropped, like they ate a little white pill that made them stronger or something to that effect.
I do not know which cartoon you're speaking
Someone in chat
Do you
reminded me the
remember
other
name,
day.
maybe?
Someone in chat will remind me. Give it a minute.
AV8 gets hit. AV8 gets hit, and nothing happens. AV8 is still not that bad of armor value. It's not AV7. Like, you play with Dark Elves. You do not expect every single Dark Elf to get injured all the time.
It's Asterix was the show.
I do actually, Bucky.
Asterix and Obelisk.
Fair enough.
Every single block I give up to be a cat.
Well, if it is, I do not know how you win those games.
Pretty hard sometimes.
Like what I have always said, like I feel that I have a good chance against every single coach in this game if I'm 3 guys up and he's not playing with elves. Like no matter what else.
Isn't that the case with every team?
Yeah.
If you're 3 men up, you're usually in a good spot.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the thing. Like, and you can be 3 men up with a couple of lucky rolls, 3 of them to be exact. Well, not really 3 of them. You need
Again, I don't like the Troll Slayer blitz from Pencerval. There you go.
because now his Troll Slayer can get it right.
Yep.
But as you can see, the AV8 is holding up admirably.
AV4
know,
would have held up then.
Fair enough, it would. I do not believe that, you know, well, giving away block on a Troll Slayer is important, I agree, but look at what he needs to commit if he wants to make that 2 dice block. He needs to commit to that hard.
Not really.
Well, he could blitz and commit to allow himself for another block. He could do some chain pushing to go around, and that is still a commitment there.
Yeah, all they're doing at the moment is just playing the attrition game. There's no reason for Pencerval to try to advance, and there's no reason for Knockoff to try to stop him. It's just about getting the upper hand in the bash. So
Exactly.
exposing your Troll Slayers like that, I don't like it. Different if it was to, like, you know, advance the cage and stuff. Fair enough.
Right, having a reason for exposing Troll Slayer like this.
Yeah. And right now, both of them expose the Troll Slayer for basically no reason. Apart from the greed of 2 blocks with the Frenzy.
Greed is good, Jimmy. You need to remember that greed is good. Greed works. He's thinking what? Whether he's going to do the block or not. No, this guy just stood up, right? Yeah, he just stood up. Moved in.
What are you saying about the runner position?
What is he thinking about? Like, don't like that. What's going on? Do we have
it might be a disconnect.
All right. Will we see the first disconnect or like concede or something off the World Cup?
This is frozen, hasn't it? I've just realised after a minute of watching this.
Exactly. Well, what are we looking at?
It means we'll get to watch that same minute again.
There we go. 44 seconds. There we go. He moved the runner. All right. Hold your hats on. We are still good.
Dwarf match is frozen.
It looks like we are experiencing some technical difficulties. But it's all right. The turn has ended. Everything is good. The earth is still flat.
And Knockoff will spend the next 4 minutes thinking about his additional move.
Oh, he's left a hit on the ball on here, hasn't he? Unless this guy's just stood up. No, he hasn't. Can chain the Troll Slayer onto the ball. But I guess it's not that crazy. Not getting an assist in.
It is not that crazy. Not that crazy at all.
And he spotted it.
Troll Slayer in. The problem is the number 9 Longbeard who is providing that assist. That's the problem. So he will have only 1 dice to chain him. No,
apparently not. Apparently not.
I would go for the chain.
I would have as well. Hands down. It was a gift.
It was a gift, indeed. It would open his Troll Slayer to a surf, though. So be it. And he couldn't pick the ball up. That's like... But the ball could have gone out. That's the whole thing.
I think that is greed focus me and famous. He could have had 1 block on AV8 and then not got blocked by every 9. That to me was very greedy.
Well, that is how it's going. Like we're talking about Triago. This game is really exciting. Like the excitement just bursts out of this game. Like we're seeing dwarves hitting dwarves. We're seeing some carefully deliberate plays, calculated blitzes. Alright, the game sucks.
Yeah, no, look, it's always disappointing when you see a glorious chain push that could just be the greatest thing ever and win the game, and it not being taken.
Well, it would still be a minus red die on the runner, though. But
yeah, it would have been maybe it's worth it if it could have been a 1B. But
yeah.
Even then.
But yeah, damn shame when you do not chain push your fellas on the floor onto the ball. That's always useful. That's actually something that I have learned during this World Cup. Would you believe it, guys? I mean, obviously this is quite believable for a Blood Bowl newbie as I am, that I did not even consider doing that before I've seen it done against me.
It was your Lizards game against Adrix, like the warm-up, like a day or so before the actual match.
Exactly.
Was that when it got you?
That's the first time I have ever seen that.
I saw that. I called it on stream and I was just like, Bucky, what are you doing, mate? But it's good that you've learned. Like, that's a huge thing. Chain pushing bodies.
I know. And, you know, I'm not saying that I'm not new to the game. I am. Then again, I'm getting better every single day.
Curiously, how often are you practicing? Are you daily doing dwarf matches against your upcoming opponent's race?
Not this week. This week we had a lot of World Cup games being casted, but usually I do play practice games, practice knockout games against. Sorry, Jim, what was that?
It's okay. I'm just saying he can move forward a bit if he wants here. He might not want to, but he might.
He has what, 3 dwarves to protect him with, 4 if he frees up the number 9.
Just this downed troll slayer is a bit of a problem. Probably just stay where he is.
I think the longer he stays, the more relevant the guard Longbeard will become, and that might start to cause real problems.
I believe I would actually move up and right about now. Reason for that is I believe I would go for a quicker than usual score. Because, I don't know, dwarves have it hard to score in 4 turns against other dwarves.
I will literally never, ever score before turn 8 by choice.
I would, right, if I'm certain that I can pull it off not to score, then yeah, you're correct, but as we have seen in the previous game, one good dodge and whatnot can ruin your plans. AV8 guys getting hit. Like I honestly feel like more AV8 guys were getting hit in this game than AV9 guys.
He said Knockoff has taken 4 AV8 hits so far. 10's about the average to get a man off the field through a KO or cash.
How much is the average?
10% for a KO or cash on AV8.
So 10 hits, 10 knockdowns before
we expect to see one,
we
yeah.
expect to see.
I brought up the little chart.
10% works though, guys.
It isn't. 6.9% for a...
It is how 10% works.
6.9% for AV8s for a KO. 4.6 for a cash.
So if it's 10%, then the chances are you'll see one after like 6 blocks or something.
No, the chances are you're going to see one after 10 blocks. That's how 10% works. You slowly build up to 100.
No, it really doesn't.
Well, I think it's a good race to start with. Well, blue surfing, that depends. And let me ask Fash and Jimmy, what do you guys believe that would be a good race for a new player to start with and enjoy Blood Bowl?
Get asked this every day, it's Orc.
Yeah, it could be Orc, but Undead's more interesting.
All right, let's take with the Blood Bowl 2 right about now, and I would say Orc also, because you will have fun with Orcs. They're a good team. They have strength. You are going to learn positioning and movement also. So yeah, Orcs. Orcs get the seal of approval of all 3 of your favorite casters.
What do you mean? Lupak's not here.
Well, yeah. So?
Oh! I went there.
Right, he did elect to move all the way up. I don't know if he will be able to protect it completely, like to stall out a couple of more turns, but he seems to be content with a fast score, like in turn or two.
It's going to be really hard to protect it. I don't know if he can. Guard Blitzer in the middle, it will be able to be free and apply himself anywhere for any block.
Where's the guard?
Runners. He's midfield.
How isolated that guard is. haven't been using the skills overlay.
What do you call BS on Oriolensis?
That's a long push. Do we have more disconnected teams?
Seems to be the case.
Hello there, Sam. Glad you can join us. Now, without the white rings, no one could tell. Well, one of the guys are purple, the other guys have checkers, but that's about it. They're all dwarfs. Do you guys have the arrow frozen on your screen too?
We sure do.
Definitely not. Well, there is some disconnection action going on there. And that's it. It's over. It's over.
Oh my.
The alcohol.
Oh my. That's
What
interesting.
will happen here?
You should know, Bucky. You have access to the secret forum. Is it the result stand? As I'm pretty sure I read that somewhere.
The concedes are not allowed.
Well, sure, the money might be taken, but will it be the result stand, or will they be forced to do a rematch?
I do not know. Let me check up on that. I'm not certain what happens straight off. Well, we're going to be casting our match. Maybe they kind of agreed to do that for us.
That's put us out of our misery? Nah.
Could be.
It's still pretty rough, though. I mean,
Is it?
Pencerval, well, the winner will, if in this case it's Pencerval, will be missing out on SPP for
Alright,
cash and
concession to the World
touchdowns.
Cup playoff.
It'll be a DC concession.
Alright,
Different-
so check this out. And to avoid any further issues, concession is now forbidden during the playoff. If a player concedes, he will be out of the World Cup, and the SPP goal gained by his opponent will be removed. That is the ruling.
Sure, but I think this is more a DC than a concede. I don't think he intentionally conceded like the Aaron's opponent did.
I understand. It can be a DC, and most likely is a DC. And I do believe that they might allow them to repeat the game, because no SPP was gained, right? And nothing out of the ordinary really happened. I believe they will allow them to
Just on speculation, or is there some sort of forum post from Nethius that...
speculation, pure speculation. No, I'm telling you, like this is what I have. Like I read you the sentence that I have from the official source.
That's a bit rough for Pencerval then. We'll miss out on touchdowns, we'll miss out on SPP. I mean, you could argue then that he also then doesn't sustain any cash.
He gets a win, though.
That's true. I guess that's all that matters.
That most of us would take that.